Hello everyone, this is Andrew with the now 3-person YouTube channel known as TapToCast, bringing you the first ever unboxing video on the channel. And the first one is going to be about a deck builder's toolkit for the 2014 core set of Magic. A little bit of a backstory: the first thing I ever bought for Magic was a 2011, I believe, toolkit, which was around the time Dark Ascension came out, or middle or whatever. Anyways, let's just get to what you guys actually clicked on for, which was opening this freaking box. I think that did it. No, yeah, there we go. Now, the toolkits are an amazing asset for new players as well as experienced ones, but mainly it is for the new players to the game, because it comes with 285 cards, an instant collection, and it has a variety of cards from, I think, M13, M14, Return to Ravnica, Gatecrash, and Dragon's Maze on the inside of it. So let's just get everything out. This includes 125 semi-randomized cards suitable for building several decks, 4 15-card booster packs, 100 basic land, guides, and a learn to play. Another great thing about a toolkit is it comes with this neat little box. You can store the cards and decks you make with this in. And it has really good art, new art for the Chandra Planeswalker, I believe. So let's open it. It has a divider in it. Let me zoom in a little bit. Whoops. There we go. Has a divider, a Return to Ravnica pack, Gatecrash, M13, and M14. My mistake, there isn't a Dragon's Maze pack in these. Set those to the side there. Here are the two things. Here's a guide on the toolkit, and then a how to play guide, I believe. Yes. Just gonna throw those over there. This okay. I believe this and a little bit of this is the land. Then here's the rest of the semi-randomized cards. So, just gonna close the box, put it over here. There's another thing I'm going to say while I'm doing this is I'm going to recommend cards that you can put into decks for beginners, which I'm pretty sure most people that could be watching this, that look it up and everything about the toolkit, are people that are wanting to get into the game and see if this would be worth it, and I say it is. Now, I'm not going to use these yet. I'm going to start with the booster packs. Here's one from the new M14 pack. Just open it and see what we got. No foil, but a token. Since these are new cards, I'm going to read them aloud. Sorry if the camera's kind of not well. This is a Marauding Maulhorn, a Corpse Hauler, Chandra's Outrage, Ring Flesh, Quag Sickness, a really good card for, well, anything. An Academy Raider, Solemn Offering, sorcery that lets you destroy artifact or enchantment and you gain 4 life, good for mono white. Slivers, which I'm new to, well, Predatory Sliver. Merfolk Spy, Mark of the Vampire, another good enchantment for black. It's 1 black, 3 generic mana, you enchant a creature and it gets +2/+2 and has lifelink. Now onto the uncommons. Start off with a Steel Form Sliver, 1 white, 2 generic. Sliver creatures you control get +0/+1. A Water Servant, 2 blue, 2 generic. Tap blue and gets +1/-1 until end of turn, or tap blue and gets -1/+1. Then we have Blessing, double white enchantment for a creature, and it gives the creature +1/+1 for each planes you tap. Then the rare is Burning Earth, 1 red, 3 generic. Whenever a player taps a non-basic land for mana, Burning Earth deals 1 damage to that player. Then an island and a wolf. Put the wolf there. The rare's there. Land there. Uncommon there. Put the trash there. Now we'll do the old core set, the 2013 expansion. Crack this pack. Oh, fuck. There we go. Nope, still didn't work. I suck at doing that. Get open. This doesn't open, let me get it. Come on. Open. Knives, always handy to have when you're doing this, because some booster packs are tougher than others. Whoops, I knocked the camera. Blaze M13. Ooh, we have a foil. Get to that. Since M13's been around, I'm just gonna go to the uncommons and commons. Fog. Good pick for mono green or anything that holds green. It's 1 green and it prevents combat damage. Uncommons right here. And they include a Mindclaw Shaman, Flames of the Firebrand, a regular weight tower, good if you ever play Commander. It's a fun thing. Captain of the Watch, a double white for generic for a 3/3 human soldier with vigilance, and other soldier creatures you control get +1/+1 with vigilance. And when it enters the battlefield, put 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield. Then we have a goat token. I know Nick likes those. At least now he does. And the foil was a uncommon Tarlin's Invocation. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Double blue for 2 generic, and put 2 2/2 blue Drake creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Look at the shiny. Anyways, enough with that. Move the trash and the uncommons. My back. Oh, knocked the camera again. I'm just gonna stand up. Next on to one of my favorite expansions so far, which is Gatecrash. We're going to the pre-release for this and picking, I believe, Boros for it, which is a red-white guild. Let me silence my phone. There we are. So in the Gatecrash pack we get Drakewind Crisis, a good card. I'll go back through everything and show you some stuff I'm making, I guess, I don't know, advertisements. Anyways, the first uncommon is a Korost Confession. 1 hybrid black or blue with 4 generic. Sorcery. Target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into the graveyard. You draw a card for each creature card put into the graveyard this way. Serene I've never seen this card before. Anyways. Serene Remembrance. 1 green sorcery for which allows you to shuffle Serene Remembrance and up to 3 target cards from a single graveyard into their owner's libraries. Then we have an Orzhov Keyrune, a 3 generic, tap to add white or black mana, or tap 1 white and 1 black and it becomes a 1/4 white and black Thrall artifact creature with lifelink until the end of turn. And the rare is Alms Beast. 1 black, 1 white, 2 generic, and it's a 6/6 beast with the ability creatures blocking or blocked by Alms Beast have lifelink. And an island. Did I miss something? That's weird. Might be listening. Anyways, on to the Return to Ravnica booster pack. First card, a card that I really hate, purely because of a Commander game. Anyways, whoops. We have, I would say, if you want to build a deck around the Selesnyan's mechanic of populate with creature tokens, throw in Druid's Deliverance, because it's 1 green, 1 generic. It's an instant play it during your opponent's turn, your turn, it doesn't matter. Prevents all combat damage, and then you populate. First uncommon is a Oak Street Innkeeper, 1 green, 2 generic, elf. It's a 1/2 creature. As long as it's not your turn, tapped creatures you control have hexproof. It's a good card. Follow the Gavel. 1 white, 1 white, 3 generic. Counter target spell and you gain 5 life. Vandal Blast. Just 1 red. Destroy target artifact you don't control, and then overload. 4 generic and 1 red. You may cast a spell for its overload cost. If you do, change its text by replacing all instances of target with each. And the rare is a Slaughter Games. 1 red, 1 black, 2 generic. Slaughter Games can't be countered by spells or abilities. Name a non-land card. Search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Then, that player shuffles his or her library. And then a mountain. Alright, let me clean some of this stuff off. So there's there. You can stay there, since you're a goat. Anyways, onto the packs that came with Toolkit that you're supposed to use along with the booster packs to build your decks. I believe this is just a pack of 100 basic land, 20 of each color. Okay, I'm going to have to organize all this into what we have here. Don't open, I don't want to open it. I think this has, well, just a Transguard Promenade, which is a land. It enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you tap 1. Then it adds mana of any color to your pool, to your mana pool. Okay. Yeah. Then we have a bunch of cards from the various expansions I mentioned. These look like good card. I highly recommend you throw this in any deck that has black, but always remember, it might not work if you're playing someone else that is using a black deck. Doomblade. Reprint this year. 1 black, 1 generic, and destroy target non-black creature. Put that there, purely because it's a awesome card. Quag Sickness. I mentioned that in the pack before. Good card. Didn't explain what it did, so I will. 1 black, 2 generic, enchantment aura, enchanted creature gets -1/-1 for each swamp you control. It's a good lifelink vampire for a 2-drop, 1 black, 1 anything, 2/1 lifelink. Another Transguild Promenade. Another uncommon, an Angelic Accord. Get on my throat. 1 white, 3 generic. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 or more life this turn, put a 4/4 white creature token onto the battlefield. With flying. Congregate, never seen this card. Then again, it's new. This would be a good card for mono white life gain, because you gain 2. Target player gains 2 life for each creature on the battlefield, and I wouldn't see why you wouldn't do that on the person you're playing. On you. God, I can't talk. So yeah, I'd recommend this card. Unflinching Courage, a good card for a multicolor deck, preferably a green-white, since it requires green and white, and then 1 generic. It is from the Dragon's Maze expansion. It's an enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. Really good card. I run this in my junk deck. Run 3 of them. So another card I'd highly recommend for a deck. And junk is green, white, and black. We have a Centaur Healer, a card I'd recommend for a white-green deck or anything that has white-green. Purely because when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. It's a 3/3 and it only costs 3. So you'd have to tap white, green, and anything else to play it. Another high recommendation. Soulmender. Use that a lot in the draft. Another Transguild Promenade. A Gutter Snipe. Is it Charm? I forgot what this thing does. Give me a second, please. I'll just read it aloud. Screw it. 1 red, 1 blue, instant, uncommon. Choose 1. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2 mana. Is it Charm deals 2 damage to target creature, or you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. I haven't really used this that much, or at all, really. I've just seen a lot of people at F&M and my friend Nick, who made this channel, use it a lot. And based on that, I have to assume it's a good card, so it's another high recommendation. Blast of Genius. 2 Goblin Electromancers, which are good, because I just now read what they freaking did. 1 red, 1 white, not white, blue. 1 red, 1 blue, a 2/2 Goblin Wizard, and instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. These cards would be good in a control deck with white, not white, stop saying that, with blue in it, or white and blue, white, blue, red, or America, that deck combination. This card would go good in my opinion, purely because it'll allow you to, well, say, is it Charm? It's an instant. If you have these on the field, you'd only have to pay 1 of these instead of both, so you have more mana to use after you cast it. Okay. While I'm thinking about it, other high recommendations I have, which are coming from the booster packs, would be Druid's Deliverance, Sundering Growth, Rune Wing, well, no, wait, yeah, don't use Rune Wing, Daring Skyjack. It's a 2-drop, 1 white, 1 generic. It's a 3/1 with the Battalion mechanic from the Boros Guild of Gatecrash. Whenever Daring Skyjack and at least 2 other creatures attack, Daring Skyjack gets flying until end of turn. It's a high recommendation. Drakewind Crisis, because it's a 3-drop for a 3/1 with flying and trample. Fog, I mentioned that before. High recommendation because it stops combat damage that is dealt to you or something. I'm probably Quag Sickness, I mentioned that before. Mark of the Vampire. I already mentioned that in the video. Just gonna start putting high recommendations in a pile right here. I'm not saying you have to use these codes, this is just what I myself would recommend for new players, or for anyone, really. Let's look at the uncommons that came from it. I would take this. This is good. It's a good card. Oak Street Innkeeper again, as long as it's not your turn, tapped creatures you control have hexproof, which means if you've attacked with all your creatures and then you cast this, it means they won't be able to destroy your other creatures since they're tapped with kill spells or abilities or anything. It goes on the pile. Now layers. Really, they want. There's not really any of these rares that I'd recommend. Let's go on to the next part of this. Right off the bat, here's a high recommendation that I would use, which is Pacifism. Used a lot for new players and experienced players that just want to screw around. 1 white, 1 generic. It's an enchantment. It's been reprinted in a lot of core sets. What Pacifism does is you enchant a target creature, which I would recommend enchanting your opponent's creature, and it makes the enchanted creature not able to attack or block. So these are good. Just more cards. Crap, I don't drop them. This is a good card for a beginning deck. It's a flying wall, a defender. It won't be able to attack, but it will take a beating. It's a 1 white, 1 generic defender with flying, and it's a 0/4, so it can take a beating, saving you a lot. Sarah Angel, another reprint that's really good. I would only, if you're new to the game, only run 2 of these if you can in a deck, because it's a high mana cost. It's 2 white, 3 generic. It's an angel. It has flying and vigilance, which means when you attack you won't have to tap it. And it's a 4/4. Divination is a good card. 1 blue, 2 generic, and it allows you to draw 2 cards. Cancel. Good counter spell. Double blue, 1 generic, allows you to counter target spell. Good in control decks. Dispense would be good for the same reason. Well, it doesn't counter. Say 1 blue, 1 generic. Instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Recommend that. As much as I hate mill, I would have to recommend this card. I hate mill. It's the bane of my existence in Magic. If you don't know what mill is, it is the act of making your opponent take cards from the top of their library or deck and put them into the graveyard. But I would have to recommend this card, Tom Scour. 1 blue, target player puts 5 cards into his or her. Let me say that again, because I cannot talk. Target player puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. This is actually a good card. I probably passed that up before. Ring Flesh, 1 black to play. Target creature gets -3, -1 until end of turn. Mind Rot is a good card. 1 black, 2 generic, so it's a 3 cost. Target player discards 2 cards. Duress is a 1-drop. It allows you to see your opponent's hand. It allows you to see your opponent's hand, and you choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and that player has to discard it to the graveyard. Child of Night, I mentioned that before. Hey, another Doomblade. So put that there. Corrupt. I'm iffy about recommending Corrupt because of its 6 cost. I mean, it's a good card, don't get me wrong, it's just too high for if you're a beginner. But if you're, then again, you'll probably be running mono colors, so put Corrupt, maybe 1 or 2 into a mono black deck. It deals damage equal to the number of swamps you control to target creature or player. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. So I'll put that there, since it's iffy with me. Now we have 2 Shocks, which is replacing, in my opinion, it's going to be replacing Searing Spear. Shock is a 1-drop red, and it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. We were lucky to get 2 of those in this, so recommended. Annihilating Fire, I'm going to recommend this. It's a 3-drop. Instant Annihilating Fire deals 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead. Then we have the rest of this part. Now while I'm opening this next pack, I'm just going to recommend what decks to build if you're a beginner. And in my opinion, I'd go start out with just mono-colored decks. Just run 1 color of a color you would like to use. And the colors include red, green, white, blue, and black. But if you want to try and go for more than 1 color, more power to you. I'll start recommending cards you can put into other decks. Like those blue cards would work well in a blue-white control weenie deck. Not weenie, just an old term. Anyways, onto this, the last part of this toolkit. Just more cards. I'm going to start recommending these slivers. Don't run like people I've seen at F&M around here. Don't run all 5 colors for slivers, because more than likely that's just going to screw you over in the end. But this is a good sliver to use in a deck that requires green cards. It's a 1 green, 1 generic, and all sliver creatures you control, which means it gives the boost to itself. Gets +1/+1. So when you cast this, it's automatically a 2/2 instead of 1/1. Aerial Predation. Good for against flyers. You destroy a target creature with flying and gain 2 life. Yes, Elvish Mystic. Purely because they're just a new version of Llanowar Elves, which I loved in my green-white angel deck. Basically, this is a, as my friend Vince calls them, mana weavers. It's a 1-drop green, and you tap it to add green mana to your mana pool. So I recommend these highly. I would recommend Deadly Recluse. It's a 1/2 Death Touch with Reach, which means it can block flyers, and with Death Touch it basically automatically kills any creature it blocks or blocks it. It's a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 generic. Giant Growth I'd recommend purely because it's a, well, 1, it gives your creature +3/+3 until end of turn. It only costs 1, and it has a bear on it. Bears are cool. Apparently that's the end of creatures and everything. Sliver Construct I'm going to recommend because it's just a 3-drop for a 2/2. And the rest of this, I believe, is just land. Yeah. So let me go through the stuff that I highly recommend to throw into decks if you're new to the game, or you're not. This is just my opinion of what you can throw into decks. The highly recommended ones are Sliver Construct, Giant Growth, Deadly Recluse, Elvish Mystic, Aerial Predation, Predatory Sliver, Annihilating Fire, Shock, Doomblade, Child of Night, Duress, Mind Rot, Ringed Flesh, Tome Scour, Disperse, Cancel, Divination, Sarah Angel, Angelic Wall, Pacifisms, Oak Street Innkeeper, Vandal Blast, Mark of the Vampire, Quag Sickness, Fog, Drakewing Crassus, however you pronounce it, Daring Skyjack, Sundering Growth, Druid's Deliverance. The rest of these cards are for more than one color decks. I recommend them if you want to build a two color deck or multicolored deck for if you're a beginner, but I do also recommend to just start small with monocolor decks and then work your way up from there. But the multicolored cards I'd recommend include Goblin Electromancer, Izzet Charm, and well, there's another charm I would recommend. Let me just grab that to show you. Another charm you could throw in would be Boros Charm, Centaur Healer, and Unflinching Courage. And if you want to, you can throw Corrupt in. I mean, it is a good card, since it deals damage to the number of swamps you control and you gain life from the damage that dealt that way, but it's just a 6-drop. It's kind of expensive for me, but still that there. Anyways, thank you all for watching this first ever unboxing video for TapToCast. I am very happy to be the one to bring it to you. So please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to us to get more subscribers. And yeah, see ya. Bye.